Welcome to Not Guilty, Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
Hello and welcome to Not Guilty, Lawyers, Guns, and Money with Edward D. Johnson III, founding attorney at Edward Johnson Associates, PC. I am your host, Kevin Rosenquist, and today's episode is Money Matters, Navigating Arrests and Large Cash Holdings. Edward, great to see you again.
Great to be back, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
All right, so can you explain what typically happens during an arrest when an individual is found to have more than $10,000 in cash on them?
Yeah, once the police see that you have money, they immediately start thinking about what they're going to spend it on because they're taking it from you. It's ridiculous. But anyone in that situation knows it's not really a $10,000 limit. It's any money you have. If they see that you have cash on you, they're going to try to seize it and take it so that they can go buy the next brand new shiny thing from the police department with your money. And it's ridiculous. So at our office, we defend people whose money's been illegally seized by the federal government and the state government in almost every state. We do all the federal work we can. I'm barred in 4 states right now, and I'm allowed to practice in several other ones, especially in the federal jurisdictions. But anytime you're traveling with money, I just tell everybody, keep it separate from any sort of cannabis or anything illicit that might cause concerns. And if the police ask you about anything in the car, don't tell them you're carrying a bunch of money with you. That's what we tell everybody. But, whenever you're in that situation where they take your money, there's a certain set of procedures that follow. Either they're taking your money based on a civil forfeiture or a criminal forfeiture. And a criminal forfeiture is one where they're charging you with a crime, and that's evidence. And so they're going to do a criminal forfeiture, and you have to wait till the criminal case is over and then try to get the money back. Or it might be part of however the case resolves. But a civil forfeiture is when there is no criminal case and they're just trying to get the money back. They're just trying to get the money from you. Sorry. And that's where a lot of people have a tough time navigating how civil forfeitures work. And we're here to help.
Listening to you say this, it almost sounds like you're being tongue in cheek, but you're not. They really do take the money.
Yeah, they took, just in Cook County, they took $17 million worth of assets and money last year.
And it's not illegal?
It's not illegal. There's a statute that governs it that, pretty much allows them to do it under different types of crimes or issues where they, money laundering under the Cannabis Control Act. There's different things at a state level. The good thing is recently they did pass some laws regarding the burden shifting, which means it used to be your job to show where the money came from, but now it requires the state's attorney to show that it came from illegal activity. So that's been a nice little change, but it's been a long road, and the law is slowly developing on that end. There hasn't been much, but there was a Supreme Court case too that figured that the Eighth Amendment protects against unreasonable punishment or any sort of excessive fines clause, and there was a case that has came down that's helped in the federal courts and state courts as well.
Wow, are there any legal protections for the person that was arrested?
Yeah, there's protections. Well, I always say, carrying money is not illegal.
Right.
That's what everyone has to understand. This $10,000 limit has to do from people flying internationally, where they tell you you can only bring around $10,000 worth of cash. So you can carry as much cash around with you whenever you want. Think of Floyd Mayweather or other people on social media. They're carrying around millions of dollars of them. Big stacks. And they can. It's their money. They've earned it. You can carry it with you. Is it a great idea? No, I wouldn't say so, but they have entourages and security, so they can get away with carrying all the money they want. It's just when you run into issues where the police see it, they have these concerns where they're just trying to say it's got to, because you're carrying it in cash, it has to be illegal. And it's not. It's outrageous.
God, I get nervous when I have a few $100 in my wallet. I'm serious.
Right? But you shouldn't. You should be fine with it. Everyone should carry money with them.
Yeah. How might law enforcement interpret that $10,000 during an arrest? You mentioned that they're going, are they automatically going to assume it's related to illegal activity?
Yes, they are on a default. There's higher ups telling them any money you see, take it, right? They're going to go let them try to get it back in court. And the interesting thing though, is in federal court, any money they take that we get back, they got to pay you interest on it. So that's the only good part of this. But yeah, they see it. Here's what they do. They'll take the money Okay. And they'll have a dog sniff it and they'll say, oh, well, the dog said that there's drugs on it. So now we can seize it. And that's just for the probable cause determination. That will be how they decide on most of the money they find on you, like in a traffic stop or the airport, is they'll have a dog that can smell this some sort of like cocaine residue on a bill that somebody might have sniffed at a bar and then it went into the cash register that then went to the bank and the bank
Yeah,
then
who
dispersed
knows?
the funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just found out that that same chemical has somehow got on the money counters and on all these other different printing devices and cutters. So now all the money has it on it. So it's ridiculous. So they're always going to get a positive alert. These dogs are so sensitive. They can pick up the minute amount of any sort of one of these like compounds. And it's unbelievable that they try to do it. And we're fighting everywhere we can to stop this process. But you're really at the mercy of these ridiculous rules.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, can you kind of talk about the concept of asset forfeiture in relation to cash seizures during arrest? How does that process work legally?
So for it, what happens is, let's say they found money on you, or they're going to take your car or your house or any sort of asset. So it all funds under the same thing. So asset forfeiture and cash forfeiture, pretty much the same thing, but assets is when it's houses, cars, jewelry, different things they're saying might have been purchased with illegal proceeds. And the cash forfeiture is just regarding seizure of the cash.
All right, that makes sense. So, what rights do the individuals have as far as if their cash is seized during an arrest, and what steps to recover it?
So as soon as they take it, the police have 14 days to notify you of a probable cause hearing in Illinois. It's pretty much the same in every state. Besides that, they have to send you notice to your last known address. And then you can file an appearance on the case. You can hire a lawyer to do it. And then there'll be a probable cause determination whether or not they can keep the money. And then that starts the whole proceedings, goes into civil court. And then you got to fight to get the money back and prove either you're an innocent owner to some of the assets. Let's say someone stole your car and committed all these crimes, you can get it back. Or if there's a house, or there's other situations that happen where if you rented a house to somebody that started a grow operation in there, or was running like a illegal gambling casino out of their house. There's a couple we had where they try to seize a lot of medical things that were like huge X-ray machines or other stuff that they were using. We were able to get those assets back, but it's anything that they can try to tie in to them getting their pockets stuffed at the department.
Where does this 10,000 figure come from?
That's like I said earlier, that's really this misconception, like, oh, I can only carry up to 10 with me. That is if you go international, and you can carry more if you go international too. That's just a limit for disclosure. If you have to take more money, go overseas to provide someone, like we get clients coming out of Miami all the time, or going to Jamaica from Miami, because when someone dies in Jamaica, everyone in the whole world comes back to Jamaica and brings money with them for the family. It's like a part of their culture. And so they would travel with this money that's totally legal, not a problem, but the police see it and they ask all these questions, and they want you to prove the source of funds and they'll seize it. It's ridiculous. But that's where that limit comes in, where you have to tell the customs of that country you're going to that you're carrying more than 10,000 in cash.
Okay. And so somehow it got kind of misconstrued into like what we're talking about today too, that 10,000 actually applies when it really doesn't matter.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's what I hear all the time. Oh, I'll talk to people like, oh, so I can only carry up to 10 with me. I was like, carry as much money as you want. That doesn't matter. Internationally, you have to just tell the customs people that you're carrying more and justify it. Where the source of the funds came from. They might tax you on it. There's different implications for every country, but that's where I think this $10,000 thing came from with everyone else, because you see it on these forms.
Does it matter as far as a defense or a legal strategy, as far as how much money was on them at the time, as far as how you approach it?
Well, we tried to approach each case on a case-by-case basis, but yeah, there really isn't any sort of limit, or like, oh, well, since you have this much, you'll get it back originally. I've seen them try to take $700, maybe even less from people. We usually just say, give us a call. We'll tell you how to navigate it if it's under a set amount, but we do large. I have one for $1 million right now. So,
wow.
Those were all with bank accounts, different sort of transfers they had issues with, which we're fighting diligently right now. And will be successful. But it's one of those situations where you're like, wow, like that it was a business doing some transfers, and they were arguing about it having some sort of nexus to it, and I don't know how they're going to prove it. So we got this case pretty good. But yeah, a lot of different things come to mind, but that's really, there is no limits on there.
Interesting. So is there documentation that you could have as proof of a cache's source to play, like during, like, is that important?
Super important. It's really easy. Like we'll have issues where like people like barbers, right? People that sell motorcycles, car parts, those types of things. They have receipts. They don't really realize it, but we just got money back for somebody that sells watches and jewelry, right? So you want to keep that documentation. You want to have your bill of sale. You want to keep records and pay your taxes. A lot of it is we run into people that are entrepreneurs and they're selling sneakers and they just started the business and things are going so well because the internet has just helped everyone sell so many more products. And they have all these shoes that they put online, and all of a sudden they're going to California, pick up shoes or drop shoes off, and they have the cash for it because they're just kind of flipping it at these big shows, and people don't have the proper documentation, which is so important. You can put it in the bank, withdraw it, keep that withdrawal receipt, you'd be fine.
Oh, so simple as that. Just having a withdrawal receipt. It doesn't have to be exactly how you earned the money, just that it came out of a bank.
Yeah, that's one. Your taxes are huge to show your income, but the bank statements, ATM withdrawals, we do a lot with people who are poker players. That's been something that the casino helps you document. There was another one where the casino, someone won a jackpot, or you get a settlement from a car accident and you have that money. These are all things that people don't even think to carry with them with the money, but they should. It really helps.
Yeah, I never would have thought that either, to like carry any, like, not that I have that much money in cash on me, but like I never would have thought that I would need documentation stating how I earned that money. It never would have occurred to me.
No, yeah, and it gets commonly overlooked, and a lot of times, you run into issues where they keep bad records, or any sort of digital signature is great.
In that example where you said that you saw one time that they took $700, what was their reasoning behind that?
Oh, they're saying that it has to be related to drugs because they were just carrying the money because maybe I think they found some other contraband on the person, and luckily they had their pay stub in their wallet there with them too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then we were able to just write a letter to the state attorney's office. They gave them the money back. It wasn't anything too crazy, but you'd be surprised. They'll take bikes, cell phones. DuPage County's taking people's cell phones. It's unbelievable. Your brand new iPhone is $1,500, and they're saying because you used it for something, they should get it. It's outrageous.
How would they justify that? That doesn't make any sense.
It's all about whether they can prove has a nexus to it. And sometimes people don't. So you have 45 days to respond to that probable cause hearing once they send you the notice. If you don't respond, if you don't have a lawyer do it, you're forfeiting the property forever and it's theirs. So it's wild. It's really important.
45 days and then it's gone forever?
Gone forever.
And that's for anything seized, not just cash?
Anything seized, not even cash. It's any sort of asset, anything else. They send that to your address. You don't get notice. You don't respond to it. You got problems.
Wow. That's crazy. That is really crazy. That's not a lot of time.
No, it's not. And a lot of people are busy or they don't see it in the mail. We also check, like the federal government does a good job at posting notices on the federal government website, which they can always check, like for the DEA or FBI, any sort of asset seizure that way. They'll publish that amount and where it was seized by each state.
Wow, that's wild. That's really wild. Like I understand if someone's got a briefcase with $100,000 on it in their trunk. You maybe ask some questions about that, perhaps if they seem to be in a I don't know, doing something illicit. But I just don't understand, like, taking $700 and I don't know. It just seems so crazy to me to just like assume something like that without any real evidence.
It's an excessive fine. It's outrageous. They're just trying to fill their coffers so they can spend it. There's a video called Pennies from Heaven where they're interviewing a sheriff from one of the departments. He goes, "We call them pennies from heaven. That's when we take the money from people," and you're just going, "What? This is not right. This isn't what it's really for." Because originally it's to stop drug dealers from laundering money or moving large cash around,
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But it's hitting people indirectly and causing serious problems. And it's another tax is all it is.
We talked in the last episode about, maybe good ideas that always seem to get messed up in with governments and laws and all that stuff. It sounds like this is another example of that. To your point, yeah, the heart's in the right place. They're trying to stop money laundering with drug dealers and stuff like that, but it's overreaching.
It's overreaching. Luckily, there is law that allows us to fight and suppress evidence from police's misconduct. If they, have broken the Constitution, pulling somebody over or taking this money and doing it without a search warrant or without probable cause, we're able to suppress that evidence and get the money back, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a long way for it to develop.
Sounds like it. Wow. Fascinating stuff for sure. Well, thanks for tuning in to Not Guilty, Lawyers, Guns, and Money with Edward D. Johnson III. To connect with Edward and the team, head to edwardjohnsonlaw.com. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Edward, always great chatting with you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.